G'day guys, welcome to beautiful Bondi Beach. My name's Guy Turland from Bondi Harvest, and I am going to teach you how to do a delicious and healthy breakfast bowl. I mean, how gorgeous is this for a backdrop? So this is a live feed, guys, so I want you to ask some questions. I want you to get involved. Tell me what you think. This delicious meal is going to be, laid with avocado, beautiful fried eggs, lots of fresh, healthy veggies. And after a training session, like Dan Churchill just put in the other day before, we are going to need some healthy food. So I'm going to take you from this beautiful backdrop back into my kitchen. I mean, live from Australia. How gorgeous. Sending a bit of Aussie sunlight into wherever you are in the world right now. Come with me. So welcome to my little kitchen. So today we're going to do a delicious and healthy breakfast bowl. So super simple, really easy, and most importantly, healthy after a hardcore training session from Dan Churchill and Chris Hemsworth. So our first step is going to be cooking quinoa. So quinoa is really easy to cook. We're going to go 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water. We're going to throw it on the stove. I'm going to put it on a medium heat and just tick it over until it absorbs all that liquid. And what I love about quinoa is it really is a flavor sponge. So whatever flavors you put into this quinoa, it's going to take in. Whatever colors you put into the quinoa, it's going to take in. So little 1 cup quinoa, 2 cups of water. It's going to go onto the stove. And like I said, if you have any questions, whether it be about Bondi Beach, whether it be about the recipe or Australia in general, make sure you lay them below, because we're here to answer all your questions. We're here to bring a little slice of Australia through that little screen to wherever you are in the world. So as that's cooking away, this quinoa we're going to turn into a quinoa tabbouleh. So traditionally a tabbouleh has lots of tomatoes, lots of citrus, lots of herbs. And it's a fine example how with a bunch of simple ingredients, you can create a lot of flavor. And obviously here in Australia, we have some of the best ingredients in the world. So as a chef, that really makes it easy when your ingredients are this fresh and this healthy and this delicious. It makes your job as a chef really easy because you don't need to do too much to them. You just have to let them sing, bring out those beautiful flavors, bring out those beautiful, natural tones. And I love herbs. I think some of my top tips for cooking, if you really want to increase flavor, is fresh herbs, dried spices, salt and pepper. 3 hints, write them down, and your food will always be a lot tastier. So I'm just going to slice this up and we're going to mix this through our gorgeous, gorgeous quinoa. And like I said, guys, if you have any questions, leave them below. This is a dish that we serve here in Bondi at the Cafe Depot, but also at my cafe in the States in Culver City, Bondi Harvest. So, we like to treat healthy in-season ingredients. We love to create lots of flavor, and that's what we're doing here. So we're just going to pick some parsley. So this is going to have kind of a couple of different components to this dish. We're going to have the quinoa. We're going to have a Tabasco fried kale. So we're going to have sort of gnarly, bitter kale that's going to be hit with Tabasco, so it's spicy, and then a little bit of lemon. So it's going to be like bitter. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be a mix of everything into a plate. It's going to be really colorful. And then we're going to finish this dish sitting on my balcony, looking over Bondi Beach as the sun comes up, potentially with a nice warm coffee. I also want to know where is everyone from? Where are you guys from? Where are you watching from? Throw up some flags. Let us know. Ask some questions. I'll tick this over. What do you guys like to cook? I mean, I've been lucky enough to travel the world and travel Australia, cooking everywhere from Western Australia to Tasmania to Ayers Rock. And I tell you what, this country is so diverse. It's so beautiful. And, you could spend a lifetime checking it out and exploring because it's such a large country. There's just so much to see and so many awesome people to meet.
All right, I got a question here for you, Guy. Do you get your ingredients from the farmers market?
Yes, I do. So Bondi has some amazing farmers markets on the weekend. Farmers markets are an awesome spot to get your fresh ingredients from. 1, you're supporting local farmers, which is so important, especially in this time. And 2, you get to kind of really engage and connect with the community. And I think that's really important with food too. I think food tastes better when you know where it comes from. And food definitely tastes better, when you have that personal connection to the people that are growing it. So if you are a regular at your farmers markets, you get to know the farmer. And there's no one more excited about food, and no one more excited about produce than the farmer who's growing it. So, I find that you become a more daring and exciting chef because you're talking to the farmer and they're saying, hey, this parsley is amazing. Last week I made a parsley tea, or it's a tabbouleh. You should give it a try. And I think that personal connection to food and where your food comes from is so important. So if you can, get in there, be bold, and get into the farmers markets. So I'm just going to run my knife through this parsley nice and fine. So like I said, this is a quinoa tabbouleh. So lots of herbs, lots of citrus, lots of attitude. And what's so great about fresh herbs is that as I chop these herbs and as I fold them through the quinoa, it really is going to release all of those essential oils, all of that flavor, and it's going to take it in.
Right, what's your favourite thing to do in Bondi, mate?
Favourite thing to do in Bondi? I got a couple of favourite things. Probably surfing. So I do love to surf, even in winter. I kind of think the surf's better in winter. For me, the ocean is kind of like a getaway from work and a place where I can just, disappear and be, and just, think about the one thing that I'm doing at that time, which is surfing. I also like to spearfish and free dive. So whenever I get a chance, I get out there and, we're so lucky here in Australia. Like, our oceans are super clear, they're super clean, and it produces some of the best seafood in the world. So for me, I love to jump in and actually get my own fish, whether it be, beautiful sea urchin, kingfish, abalone, lobsters. You'll be surprised what you find in your own backyard. And here in Bondi and in the ocean, it's just like, it's full of life, which is such a nice place for me to explore. And I think that's important. I think looking in your own backyard for food, I think getting out and exploring your own backyard is super important. So that's kind of what I like to do. Two things, and drink coffee, because I have a coffee shop and and I love coffee. So we've got some pre-cooked quinoa just so we're not sitting around for too long, and that's going to go straight in with our beautiful parsley. So parsley, quinoa, I'm going to add some mint in there as well. So same thing, just chop some mint up. So if you're, strapped for time, you could literally throw all of this into a food processor and just kind of blitz it up so it comes together. My style of food, and the style of food that I like to kind of push to the world is that food should be simple, food should be accessible, and it shouldn't be stressful. So you can be rough and ready with it as long as you make sure you use the right ingredients and make sure you focus on the key components to make sure that the flavors are there and season it properly. And that's kind of how Bondi Harvest started, just cooking on the beach, simple recipes to kind of empower and teach people how to cook. With a backdrop like Bondi Beach, it's a postcard backdrop. It's pretty gorgeous. It's the most beautiful beach in the world to me. I haven't found a beach like it. Australia is so diverse, and if you are a beach and ocean lover, then this is the country for you. You could spend a lifetime searching, diving, surfing, driving, finding secluded beaches and camping. It's just it's a spectacular spot. So some parsley and some mint, same thing. I'm just going to shift knife it, so I run my knife through it. Nice and fine. Yeah. Lay it on me.
Being a Southern Highlands, New South Wales boy, do you use any local produce?
Yeah, absolutely. As in local produce from the Southern Highlands?
I would say it's local produce from New South Wales.
New South Wales, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the same thing, back to the first question, the farmers markets. Heading to your local farmers markets is where you're going to find your local produce. You're going to connect with that farmer. So 100% local produce is important to me. I also head down to the Southern Highlands to do a lot of foraging. Get some pine mushrooms down there at the moment are absolutely amazing, slippery jacks. Connect with local farmers. I've got a friend with a beautiful winery down there. So some good wine as well. That's always a win. But yeah, I suppose that question back to the first answer is that, I head down to the Southern Highlands a lot to get fresh produce. Mum and Dad are still down there, so I spend a lot of time in the country, which is really nice. But if you are going to your farmers markets, then you're going to get local produce and you're going to support your local farmer. So I've just added the mint into the quinoa here as well. So I'm going to give that a mix.
And are we making this recipe available after the live this morning?
Absolutely we are. Absolutely we are. So in here, super simple, quinoa, parsley, mint. Next up, we're going to add ourselves some lemon rind in there as well. So lemon rind, nice, fresh, light, healthy flavors. I'll add some lemon juice as well. So you notice as we cook along that, I'm kind of constantly balancing flavors. So I'm thinking you've got, beautiful, light, fresh herbs. You've got, nice, zesty lemon in there as well. And then we're going to have like a beautiful, soft, fried or boiled or poached egg, depending on what you guys want on top. So you're kind of balancing flavors and textures as well. We'll have some fresh radish and carrot sliced into like a fresh salad. So as you eat this bowl, you're going to have like acid, you're going to have cream, you're going to have crunch, you're going to have a beautiful egg, and you're going to be ready for the day. A little bit more lemon.
This is a loaded question, mate.
A loaded question, lay it on me. What have we got?
What's your favourite places to grab coffee in Bondi?
Favorite places to grab coffee in Bondi? My favorite places, I'll give you four favorite places, so many favorite places. So I have a cafe in North Bondi, or the family has a cafe in North Bondi called The Depot. So definitely the Depot is a place that you'll find me hanging out drinking coffee. One, because the food and coffee is amazing, but two, because it's a family-owned place, the coffee is free, which is pretty sweet. I also, Poaching Parlour is amazing. So a lot of lovely friends own and run Poaching Parlour, and their coffee and food is awesome. Drake is really great as well for coffee, but also dinner. So Drake is a restaurant owned by Ian Oakley, a friend of mine. Amazing chef, amazing coffee, and absolutely stunning food. And then also Gertrude and Alice. So a gorgeous cafe on Horse Street that is also a bookstore, has the best chai you'll drink. Also amazing coffee and an institution in Bondi. I love Aussie. I mean, Aussie cafes are taking over the world, and I kind of think that the reason that they are so successful in the US and other places, and even here in Australia, is that we know how to build a community. A cafe is a place that you live. It's a place that you meet people. It's a place where you get together and break up and kids grow up. It's more of a lifestyle thing where, and that's for me why I love cafes, and I think why Aussie cafes are so successful around the world is the food is fresh, it's healthy, because our ingredients here are world class. So we're taught not to make it too complicated. But also, we're all about community. So we're going to hit some pepper in here as well. What does everyone like to cook at home? What food do you like to cook at home? So we're going to add some salt in here as well. So again, salt, pepper, super important. Sounds like a simple thing, but salt and pepper, they increase and bring out flavor. So if you can, make sure you always season your food. So that's I'm going to add some tomato in there too. What am I doing? So we'll dice some tomato. Just going to run a knife through it. Nice and quick. Like I said, rough and ready. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just, if you're making this at home, just imagine you've done a training session with Chris Hemsworth, Dan Churchill, and you're starving and you're ready for a feed. There's no need for pleasantries, just get it done.
We've got one of our beautiful viewers that are allergic to quinoa. What else could they use?
If you're allergic to quinoa, you could swap this recipe out with a lot of things. You could swap it out with rice. You could swap it out with some lentils would work really well as well. Or to be honest, you could just leave the quinoa out and just do like a really nice herb mix. So it'd almost be like a salsa verde, so super beautiful, full of herbs. Or if you love cauliflower, you can make a cauliflower rice and then just sub the quinoa for the cauliflower rice, and it'd be like really, really delicious and really healthy. I do love subbing rice for cauliflower rice. It's just an easy thing to swap out and a great way to get extra veggies into your diet. I mean, there you go. So that is our quinoa tabbouleh. So there's a few more components, but what I might do is just while the sun's out, take you outside here and show you Bondi Beach, just in case you guys are tuning in later on. So this is the backdrop. Let's come straight out and have a look. gorgeous Bondi Beach. I mean, this is what we wake up to every morning. That's my supermarket. That's my backyard and playground. Let's get back in the kitchen. So if you guys are just tuning in later on, we are doing a beautiful Bondi breakfast bowl. A couple of different components. We've got quinoa tabbouleh, which we're halfway through. We're going to do a Tabasco fried kale, so it's going to be, really hot. It's going to be bitter. It's going to be super, super tasty. And then we're going to do a light fresh salad, fried egg on top. So multiple layers. So I'll pop this over here, and then we'll get into our light and gorgeous fresh salad. So we're going to go some radish, a couple of these beautiful carrots.
What's your favourite comfort food, Guy?
Comfort food. Oh, that's a good one.
Winter's coming, so
winter is coming. I love a risotto. I really do, like a triple mushroom risotto, nice and bold, lots of parmesan cheese through it. It's pretty amazing. Pasta. I love a pasta. Literally just spent some time in Italy, so my pasta obsession has just gone through the roof. But then I also love like slow cooked lamb as well. I think like winter is so exciting. It's such an exciting time to cook. If you think about it, we're talking about root veg, slow cooked food. It's a time in the year where you can start to slow down and cook nice and slow, nice and low, and use some of those cheaper, harder, more robust cuts of meat, but also vegetables to create amazing kind of moorish, fall apart food. And I kind of think when you're doing like slow cooked lamb or slow cooked whole cauliflower or eggplant, it's the anticipation of waiting for that food that makes it taste better. If you're sitting there and it's cooking for 12 hours, you're thinking about how good that lamb's going to be. And I think that's, for me is such a great way to cook, especially, with a glass of red wine in hand. Couldn't ask for much more. So I'm just going to slice these beautiful radishes into discs, just like this. So again, I'm trying to layer colors and layer flavors with this beautiful breakfast bowl. So if you think about it, you've got all of these beautiful vegetables. What I love to do is walk through the farmer's market or the supermarket and go, what is there, what's in season, and how am I going to play with it to make it tasty, but also, really pretty. And slicing radishes into discs, that's just such a pretty way to slice and present food, and it doesn't need much more than that. Like a radish has already got a lot of heat, a lot of flavor, a lot of natural sugar.
Is it easy to find one of those mandolins?
Yeah, so these Japanese mandolins, you can obviously order them online, but they're definitely a staple in my kitchen. I just think they're so amazing. They're just a great way to speed things up. Or you can just go to your local supermarket and they should have them there as well.
Another question here. What do you miss most about Sydney when you're away?
I miss the space, I miss the coffee, and I miss the people. And I kind of think that's just a general thing that I miss for Australia, to be honest. We're so lucky here. We have so much space. Like I said, our food is amazing. We have so many characters, and there's so many loved ones here. That's kind of what I miss the most when I head overseas. So it's a bit tedious, but I promise you it's worth the work. So that's going to kind of all come together. Like lots of different colors, lots of different flavors. Keep doing this. Watch our fingers. Obviously going to add avocado to this because Aussies are obsessed with avocado. And a beautiful egg on top.
What inspired you to start cooking in the first place?
My grandma, to be honest. So when I was growing up, for everyone's birthday, I've got lots of cousins, my grandma would put on a feast and everyone would go around. She would make the most amazing sponge cake. It was awesome. And as a young kid, I was always amazed how this beautiful, powerful old woman could feed 15 people pretty much all by herself. So I'd be running around the kitchen in between her legs, kicking her knees out, licking the bowl of the cake, all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of for me where it started. And then I did hospitality at school and realized I really enjoyed cooking and hospitality. And I said to myself, as long as I enjoy it, just keep doing it, and I've still enjoyed it to this day, 15 odd years later. So yeah, I mean, I love food. Cooking's given me so much. It's allowed me to see the world. It's allowed me to see that food really is an international language that breaks down all barriers. You know, I've been in Japan cooking with a beautiful old Japanese man in a green tea farm who doesn't speak a word of English, but we know what's going on. Yeah, so I think food is just it's a beautiful old art form, and you know, I'm really lucky to have the ability to be a part of it and to play with food. You know, it's so old. It's something all cultures have in common, and there's always something to learn. There is no wrong and right, you know. So I think that's just a beautiful thing.
And again, for people just tuning in, is this recipe going to be available online after the live?
Absolutely. So we'll put this recipe up online. You can cook it at home. You can ask some questions across social media. Yeah, so absolutely. I'm all about sharing. I don't think any recipe should be secret. They've all come from somewhere, from someone else. So this recipe will be online for you guys to jump on and cook. And I'd love to see your photos. I'd love to see you cook.
The people have spoken, mate, about your eggs. What do you reckon?
Ooh.
What's your guess?
Oh, poached, scrambled, or fried?
Yeah.
I'm pretty mean for a fried egg at the moment, but I do like the idea of a beautiful soft poached egg.
Oh, you got it.
What are we going for?
People ask for poached eggs.
Poached eggs. Give me how many poached eggs are we going for?
In one bowl?
No, well, I think 2 poached eggs is pretty good. Yeah. So we've got radish, we've got carrot, we've got basil, we've got some fresh tomato, and that's going to be a little salad for us. Hit that with lots of pepper. So what I like to do and what we do at the cafes, we have all of these components and these different salads kind of made, and then we just put them together at the end. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, you don't need to do too much to great quality ingredients. I mean, look at that, super fresh, super colorful. I mean, that in itself is a salad in a dream. Okay, on to our next step. We're going to do some Tabasco fried kale. So got some kale here. I'm just going to run my knife through it.
What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten, Guy?
Oh, I've eaten some really amazing weird food, actually. So a little while ago, I did a cooking series called Food to Die For, and it took me around the globe finding the most dangerous delicacies in the world. So I was lucky enough to travel to Japan, and we caught sea snake by hand at 12 o'clock at night on a small island in Okinawa. And then we ate the sea snake. That was very, very weird. That whole scenario was quite surreal. I've also, what else have I done? Sea snake was very bizarre. I've been barramundi fishing up in Kununurra, which was absolutely amazing. You know, in beautiful, vast Kununurra, the backdrop of the red mountains, the nature is just breathtaking. And the barramundi, we caught a meter long barramundi, the biggest fish I've ever caught. It's not weird, but I mean, as an experience, it was pretty special.
We got people waving from Morocco, Nashville, Toronto, Europe, and Portsmouth at the moment.
Yes. How good. Welcome to Bondi. So we're just going to do some Tabasco fried kale. So nice hot pan, a good hit of olive oil. And we're going to build this bowl. And then once it's built, we're going to sit outside on the balcony.
Where are we? Can we see that view?
Yeah, come for a walk. So if you are just tuning in, guys, again, welcome to Bondi Beach, Australia. This is my backyard. This is my playground. This is, to me, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. It's stunning. The water is super clear, super fresh, full of beautiful sea life. And I'm very lucky to be here and super excited to show you my slice of Australia. So we're going to cook a beautiful breakfast bowl up. Then we're going to sit in the balcony, lay in the sun, and have a delicious, healthy meal. And make sure you stay tuned after my segment because, I mean, we have some of my favorite artists, actually, coming up after me. That's right. After my segment, we have the Wiggles. I'm going to be tuning in because those guys are absolute Aussie legends. They've been flying the Aussie flag for a long time, so make sure you tune in and make sure you get your kids to tune in as well because these guys are they're awesome. They're awesome. Okay, I'm fangirling over Wiggles. Yes, I admit it. That's me.
Do you ever watch any other cooking shows? And if so, what's your fave?
I love Chef Table. I think that's a really amazing show, and I really enjoyed Gordon Ramsay's last show. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a Nat Geo show where he was running around catching dangerous food. It was kind of out of the kitchen. I love cooking, but as a viewer, I enjoy that mix of like adventure, outdoors, food in rugged nature a little bit more than like the conventional cooking show. So I was going to bring that up to heat, hit it with some Tabasco. Any other questions about beautiful Australia, guys? Just lay them down here, or the food, or Bondi Beach. I want to know where you're from. If you have questions, please ask away.
Is there any chefs that have inspired your cooking?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of old school chefs. I'd say the biggest chef that has inspired my cooking was actually my old head chef. So I left Barrel, moved to Sydney, studied to be a chef. My first job was at Est under Peter Doyle, and he's an amazing chef, but also, like, even more importantly, an amazing human and amazing teacher. So I think he's really inspired me the most.
Can you tell us a little bit what it's like to work for chefs like that? Because in my experience, they're like gods when you're at the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, I think as a young chef, I think who you work under and how they influence you as a chef and a person stays with you for a lifetime. You really do look up to them, and you look to them for guidance, and you look to them to help you mold into the human and the chef you want to be. So it really is an amazing industry, but also a different industry. But yeah, it's worth all the hard work. Like anything, it's worth the hard work. So we're just going to sweat this down. What I love about kale, and I think why it's one of my favorite kind of salads, is that, I mean, yeah, it's good for you, but it also handles heat really well. You know, a lot of salads, they wilt and they die and they go brown, black really quickly, but kale really has, it has that stability. It's a bit stronger, and it can handle a bit of roughness. So lemon, salt, pepper, olive oil, Tabasco.
Where's the first place you're going to visit when we're allowed to travel?
I mean, like, two places. I'm definitely heading straight down to Tasmania. I think Tasmania is just a special place. It's rugged. You can be in some of the most untouched, breathtaking bush from, any city within half an hour. And I think that's really special. I'm going to go hiking. I'm going to do some fly fishing in Tasmania. And I'm going to disappear, camp on a beach, and surf myself crazy. And then also Western Australia. I've done a bunch of trips to Western Australia, and still to this day, it's a state that is just so large and so beautiful. So I plan on heading to Kununurra and doing the Kimberley. There's something so special and primal and just awesome about the beautiful red rock and how vast the Kimberley is. You stand on top of the cliff and it just looks like it goes forever, and the whole thing is just red and green. And if you get a chance, make the trip up to Western Australia, head down to Tasmania. It'll take your breath away, and I promise you, as a holiday, it will leave you a better person. You'll leave not as a holiday goer, but you'll leave with an experience. You'll leave with a memory, and you'll leave with a story that your friends are guaranteed to be jealous about, because they're two places that are just like mind-blowingly beautiful.
People from Toronto are asking what the best thing to do in Australia is around Christmas time.
Oh, Christmas time. That's a big one. Well, I suppose I'll answer your question with another question. What do you like to do? Australia is so vast, and it's got everything, something for everyone. So if you love to surf and that's what you want like a really you want an Australian Christmas, then you should be near the beach. You should be in Byron Bay, laying on the white sand. You should be in Bondi. But if you're a camper and you want to get out into the mountains, then head up to beautiful Kosciuszko National Park. Go on hikes, do some mountain bike riding, do some fly fishing. Yeah, it just depends on what kind of Christmas you want. Being from Canada, obviously there's a lot of snow. It's obviously quite cold there during that period. So I'm going to say head up the coast, get in a car, go camping, drive up the coast, and explore and enjoy every single beautiful beach that we have to offer, because they are just breathtaking. And you can find, you know, beaches that are kilometers long without a footprint on them, and that's super special. That moment when you step onto a beach that no one's been on all day and you get that squeaky sand footprints, that's what you want for Christmas.
If you could choose one true blue Aussie ingredient, what would it be?
True blue Aussie ingredient. Oh,
My favourite Australian ingredient.
well, that's a hard one. I mean, what I can say is that when I get home, or the first thing that I take to the cafes in the States is Vegemite. Yeah, I mean,
a lot of natives in Australia too, right? That are sort of unprecedented around the world.
Yeah, so there's a lot of natives. I mean, there's stuff growing in the backyard here in Bondi that are native. So there's Warringal greens. There's a lot of watercress that's growing around the corner as well. There's loads of lemon myrtle. There's wattle and wattle seed in the Southern Highlands, which is where I grew up, that we used to use a lot of. There are a bunch of amazing indigenous ingredients that I can't wait for the world to start to see, because they're nowhere else but here, and they're just delicious. Like, they're mind-blowingly delicious. And I think it's tomorrow. Jacques is going to do a whole foraging Aussie indigenous food session, so that's going to be pretty amazing. You guys will learn loads. So again, make sure you just stay tuned in, because there is so much going on in this campaign live from Australia on this beautiful Facebook page. Like, there's so much to learn. There's so much to do. So I'm going to make a little turmeric tahini dressing, bit of water, bit of lemon.
So you grew up in Barrow. What sort of tips do you have for the area?
Tips for the area: get outdoors. Well, I mean, it depends. Like, there's a lot of amazing cafes, a lot of amazing restaurants, but if you get outdoors, the hikes there are just like gorgeous. There's mountain biking, there's hiking, there's fishing. Fitzroy Falls is just absolutely stunning. It's a gorgeous place. Southern Highlands and Barrel is just amazing. The food is awesome. The wine is really world class as well. So I'd say get yourself a nice, comfortable house or hotel, and give, not like Australia, give the Southern Highlands the time it deserves, because there's a lot to see and you don't want to miss out on a thing.
So what have we got going on in this?
So this is a little turmeric tahini dressing that I'm whipping up. Set my lid. Yeah. So it's just a bit of water, bit of lemon, bit of turmeric, and we just give that a shake. So that's going to go over the top of our egg. I love tahini. It's kind of like nutty, and you add a bit of acid to it. You've got this creamy, nutty, acidy, delicious dressing, and it's super easy to do. So I'll pop that there. Okay. Yeah, there's water in there as well. Yeah.
And we're poaching our eggs.
All right. Yeah, we're poaching our eggs. All right. So poached eggs. Crank this up here, actually.
We got people from Kuala Lumpur, Florida, Canada, and the Netherlands tuning in right now.
Oh, how good. How good. So poached eggs, tricks to poached eggs. So who knows how to poach egg? Who loves a poached egg? Who has failed at poaching eggs before? Put your hand up, give us a holler, because I'm going to teach you how to make the poached egg, perfect poached egg. It's super simple. There's a few things you need to remember. First thing is you want your water to be not too hot, not too cold. If the water is too cold, the egg sinks to the bottom of the pan, it sticks, it explodes. If the water is too hot, as soon as your egg hits the water, it's boiling too vigorous and the egg explodes. What you want is like a gentle boil, so just light bubbles, light enough that it's going to cook your egg, and it's also going to stop it from hitting the base. You're also going to add some vinegar. And what the vinegar does is it, seasons the egg, but it also helps the white set and it'll help it bind together. And it means the egg will stay together instead of exploding. Third thing is one of the most important things, I think, and that is fresh eggs. The fresher the eggs, the more sturdy they are, the more likely they're going to hold together. fresh is always best, just like this whole recipe. Using fresh ingredients, it just makes your life easier. It's healthier for you. It's tasty. So get out to your farmers markets. Make sure you buy fresh in season ingredients. You know, it makes my job easy, really. Alrighty, just bring this up to the boil. Leave that there. So we'll just recap on what we have here. So we have our beautiful quinoa tabbouleh. We have a light, fresh, get to it. The light, fresh, beautiful, crunchy salad, seasonal ingredients. We have Tabasco kale, and we will have some of the best poached eggs you've ever seen in your life. So we're going to start layering our bowl while this water is coming to the simmer. So we're going to go down with our tabbouleh. A good amount in there. What I like to do is I like to kind of make a couple of different components so you can kind of see everything separately. Our beautiful salad. It's going to sit there as well. Just like that. I'm going to add some kale in the corner. Perfect. So you can see kind of every different salad and component is there telling its own story. And now onto the avocado. All right, what kind of avocado do you guys want to see? Do you want an avocado fan? Do you think I should do an avocado wedge? Should I do an avocado rose? I can't do an avocado swan, but I can do an avocado rose.
I think it's coming in for rose.
Coming in for rose?
Coming in for rose.
It's an avocado rose, is that where we're going?
Avo rose.
Avo rose. Locked in. Eddie. Swap it around. All right. Hopefully I'll get this right because there's no editing here. No, I'm joking. So for an avocado rose, first things first, pull your sleeve up. Slice it all the way through, nice and thin. And then I'm going to fan this out all the way.
Any tips to knife skills?
Practice. Yep. Number one tip is to practice. Second tip is sharp knife. Always work with a sharp knife. It means that you have to put less pressure on what you're cutting, which means you can focus on what you're doing and not focus on trying to get through the actual cut itself.
So just fan this avocado out.
Yep. So fan that all the way out, slice it nice and fine. And now we're going to bring this tail around. I'm going to make a beautiful rose. So we're going to like this. Just rolling it around all the way. And we're going to seal it off.
Loads of love for the Avo rose.
How's that, huh?
Yeah. How do you choose the right avocado?
Color and feel. Color and feel. So you want to, a fresh avocado here. Here we go. So you want to look for it. It's obviously going to be green, but not too green. You can see it starting to color up a bit, but also it's just soft enough that as you put a little bit of pressure, you can feel your thumb kind of make an indent, and that's when you know you're good. You don't want it too ripe, obviously, because your avocado won't last as long, and you know it'll be brown and horrible. So yeah, but also planning as well. Like if you know that you're going to buy 10 avocados and you're going to use one a day, make sure you buy some that are quite hard because they'll soften over time. So bubbling water. There we go. That's pretty good. Add a little bit of vinegar. grab our eggs. Right. So this is kind of what you're after. So poaching eggs, guys, things to remember: the right temperature water, not too hot, not too cold, just a light bubble. You need fresh eggs, super important, and just a little hit of vinegar in there. And then we're just going to gently crack the egg and pop it in there. You don't want to drop the egg in there from too high. Again, you need to be gentle. So just going to crack it, and then as close to the water as you can get without burning yourself, just pop the egg in there.
How does it feel to have over 800 people in your kitchen right now?
It feels quite busy, quite crowded. Welcome, welcome to my kitchen. I'll go with the other egg. Again, a lot of people do the whole swirl technique, which is fine. It'll work, but I think it's kind of unnecessary if you stick to those principles of, you know, beautiful fresh eggs, the right temperature water, and a hit of vinegar. Food should be simple. It should be enjoyable, and it shouldn't be complicated. And that's definitely my goal with cooking. The restaurants, the website, the YouTube channel is to show people that cooking at home, supporting your local farmer, getting out there, enjoying food is easy, and it should be a joy. It shouldn't be a stress. There we go. So while our eggs gently poach, I'm going to show you the view again. I'm just showing off. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to gorgeous Bondi Beach. My name is Guy Turland from Bondi Harvest, and this is my backyard. So we're doing a beautiful, healthy, delicious breakfast bowl from Bondi Beach. And in no time at all, we will be sitting on the balcony enjoying a healthy meal as the sun shines down on us. We're sharing a little slice of Australia through Facebook, through our live stream, to wherever you are right now in these crazy times. And then I'm going to go for a surf. But let's finish this off. So you kind of want these eggs to sit here for about a minute.
10 minutes.
Yep. All right, eggs coming out. We'll finish this up. Avocado on the, there we go, right on top. Get our eggs out. So what I like to do is straight from the pot, just onto a tea towel. You can just get off some water. Perfect poached eggs, as requested. On the avocado, on the side. On the avocado. Yeah, get it up there. Straight on top. There we go. Stack it up nice and high. A little bit of our turmeric dressing on top.
It's sort of like a healthy hollandaise.
Kind of like a healthy hollandaise, that's right. It's a beautiful, healthy Bondi breakfast bowl. There we go. Oh, how does that look like? What does that look like for a breakfast, eh? Beautiful, healthy Bondi breakfast bowl. I mean, that is what you're after. I'm going to sit here for the next 5 minutes. If you have any questions, guys, just lay them on me. I'm here to answer them. But let's get this money shot first. So perfect soft-boiled eggs. Let's crack this. Poached eggs, sorry. How good's that? Live from Australia, guys. Streaming some of Australia's most beautiful locations, highlighting some really cool, interesting, amazing Aussies doing awesome stuff. Make sure you tune in. We have the Wiggles coming up next. And yes, I'm tuning in. And yes, I'm going to eat this. And yes, I'm going to have a little dance with them. Make sure you tune in. We've got some awesome people, guys. Some amazing food, some amazing acts. I think Rove McManus is coming up later on. That is going to be hilarious. You know it's going to be hilarious.
What's your best tip for first-time travelers to Australia?
First-time travelers, give yourself enough time. It's a big country. It's a beautiful country. And as a fellow Aussie, I want you to see it all. I want you to experience it. And I think Australia is one of those countries that, like, I can firmly say that you'll come to, you'll travel to, you'll have the best time, but it'll be more than a holiday. It will be an experience. It'll be a moment that will stay with you for life, and you'll tell your friends forever. So do yourself a favor, give yourself as much time as possible. What else you got for me? Questions? I'm here to answer. All right, guys, finishing it up. Beautiful Bondi breakfast bowl from amazing, gorgeous Bondi Beach. Thank you for watching. Make sure you stay tuned in. The Wiggles are coming up next. These guys are awesome. Absolute Aussie icons. I'll be watching. You should be watching. Keep cooking. And, yep, we'll see you very soon.